So hello and welcome to Leicester Print Workshop. And for those who don't know us, Leicester Print Workshop was founded in 1986 with a simple yet powerful aim to provide access to printmaking facilities for artists and the wider community. Leicester Print Workshop has grown steadily over the last 4 decades, and we moved into our home here 10 years ago, making it one of the UK's largest and best equipped open access print studios, covering litho, screen, etching, letterpress, relief print like lino and wood, alongside 11 studios and a gallery in which you are sat today. You'll see around you some wonderful works from the exhibition Flourish, which is a touring show from West Yorkshire Print Workshop, this show is in its 14th year, and it celebrates the very best of fine art printmaking, excellence in printmaking. So Leicester Print Workshop is a place of making, of skill, of experimentation, and of shared learning. A place where artists and creatives meet, where ideas take form and community is built through ink and paper. Now, as some of you may have worked out, we mark our 40th year this year. And our 40th anniversary will be launching in June, and we'll be developing collaborations and sharings as part of our celebration, City of Print. So please keep your eyes peeled for that. So housekeeping, if the alarms go off, then please make your way through the front door here, go across to the corner, walkway in front of the Leicester Mercury building, where you will be safe. There are 2 toilets on the ground floor, which you kind of make your way through there, but also there are toilets upstairs. We have one accessible toilet here, but also there's a lift to the upstairs. If you need anything to make this AGM and your support for Cvan and also welcoming here, please reach out to me or my colleagues Katie and Kezia, who've been happily serving you some lovely hot drinks. You're free to explore, be mindful this is a working space, so do take care, but we welcome you with open arms and it's lovely to see you all here. So enjoy the AGM and thank you, Colette, for picking it as a venue.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm going to start with thank yous and then I'll go into a little bit about who I am and why we're all here. Grab a seat and refreshments, anyone that's just joining us. Thank you so much to Michelle and the whole of the team here at Leicester Print Workshop for hosting us for our 2026 AGM, our annual general meeting. Thank you to Robert, who's on film. We've got Beth, who's taking photos. We've got Kelly, that's been doing live illustration, and I know some of you have been speaking with Kelly earlier this evening. Mandeep, who's been doing the printmaking. I know some of you have made prints to take home and some print responses. Thank you so much. Who else? Thank you, Cvan Em Agm steering group members that are with us today. We've got Ismail, Sazizo and Mandeep, who's doing the printmaking, is also on our steering group. I think that's everyone that's helped today happen. And thank you everyone who's here. So I know we've got people from obviously Leicester, Leicestershire, but also Nottinghamshire, Northamptonshire, Derbyshire, further afield. So it's great to have almost the expanse of the East Midlands all in one room. So thank you. My name's Colette and I'm the director of Cvan East Midlands, or Contemporary Visual Art Network East Midlands. I've been in the role since 2021. I'm 2 days a week and I'm the sole staff member with Cvan. I also happen to have the same role in the West Midlands, which I took on last year. So you'll see some themes of cross-regional overlap within this conversation, which is really exciting. And that I do 3 days a week. So I'm going to go into more of the presentation. I'm going to put my phone on silent, one of those people. We'll kick things off. If anyone needs the toilets or drinks or refreshments during the conversation, please do feel free to step away, and there'll be a bit of a Q&A where we'll have a roving mic with Robert, who's recording. Hopefully that's everything. There'll be a bit of 15 minutes or so at the end just to carry on conversations that you might have had to pause, and an opportunity maybe just to check in with Kelly and Mandeep before you go. So the 2026 Cvan East Midlands Annual General Meeting takes place at a pivotal moment for the visual arts. With the review of Arts Council England shaping the future of support for artists, arts workers and organisations, and the continued evolution of combined authorities influencing cultural strategy and investment, it's vital that our regional network comes together to look ahead collectively, creatively and confidently. Arts Council England is a non-departmental public body of DCMS that distributes public funds to artists, arts workers and arts organisations ranging from national institutions to community-based ventures. An independent review led by Baroness Margaret Hodge examining how Arts Council England operates and supports the arts across England was published in December 2025. Core findings and recommendations give us recommended direction outlines a need to retain Arts Council England and strengthen the arm's length principle, address long-term underfunding with innovative solutions, replace the current Let's Create strategy for a simpler, less prescriptive strategy, introduce a new 5-year funding model for NPOs, National Portfolio Organisations, radically simplify application and reporting processes, create a new national programme for individuals, grow culture in underserved areas, strengthen Arts Council England's role in development as a development agency and advocate, and improve diversity, data transparency and system infrastructure. Arts Council England's response to the Hodge review was published today, so I added this slide a couple of hours ago, fresh off the press. I didn't know it was coming. And the report, the review, the response to the review, which has been published today, can be found on Arts Council's website. So here are some takeaways, my takeaways really, from the headlines, and the headlines and the key commitments which were shared. So starting now, Arts Council England will test new finance and fundraising models to provide more flexible and varied routes to funding. In May, Arts Council England will publish a simple interim strategic framework which will guide their work moving forward. They will retain focus on diversity, inclusion and equality of opportunity, as in Let's Create, and provide a clearer, less prescriptive guidance for applicants and partners. Arts Council England will explain how stakeholders can give feedback aimed at shaping future services and will share key information on the next NPO or National Portfolio Organisation application process and timeline. In June, Arts Council England will publish details of the National Portfolio Organisation Investment Programme, reducing administrative burden on the application stage and during the funding period. Next year, Arts Council England will launch a new service for individuals built around a new funding programme, which will include improved advice, guidance and training support. And Arts Council England will develop a new simple online platform intended to improve accessibility and user experience. So we've got some potential opportunities that come from this shift, which includes a new, more efficient national programme for individuals, simplified funding processes, a focus on underserved areas, stronger local cultural strategies, and a clearer development and advocacy role for Arts Council. Potential unknowns include whether consolidating funds could reduce the number of individuals supported overall, disrupt existing NPO models, and increase competition during a transition period. Throughout this process, Cvan East Midlands will act as a connector, a convener, a knowledge sharer, and a creative-centred advocate. What is Cvan East Midlands? I know that some of you are familiar with Cvan East Midlands and some of you less so. And if there's anything that you want elaborating on, please do ask questions at the end of the conversation or take me to one side at the end of the conversation. So Cvan East Midlands, Cvan Em, is the free-to-access contemporary visual arts network for the East Midlands, which encompasses Derbyshire, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Northamptonshire, Nottinghamshire and Rutland. We work alongside 8 other regional contemporary visual arts networks and Cvan England to amplify voices, debate and democratic change across the sector. We work with and connect artists, arts workers and organisations. We're hosted by New Art Exchange in Nottingham and we operate as a project within the organisation. We receive 35k per annum via New Art Exchange's Arts Council England National Portfolio Organisation funding settlement. An additional provision beyond our core activity is made possible through fundraising, partnership working and support from Cvan England. Cvan East Midlands Director, me, works 2 days a week and is supported by a brilliant steering group made up of representatives and regional organisations, arts workers and artists working across the East Midlands who act as advisors, advocates, and advocates. Our steering group is dynamic and diverse, passionate about the arts and active within the creative sector in the region. This is our steering group at a glance. As I mentioned, we've got a couple of our members here with us today, including Sazizo, Ismail and Mandeep. So we've got Saad Edin Said, who's our chair, and he's the CEO and artistic director at New Art Exchange. Emma Grant, who's the artistic director and CEO at NN Contemporary Art in Northampton, which is going to be reopening later this year, and they're changing their name to Art Collective. We've got Harriet Plewis, who's a Lincoln-based artist and educator. Harry Freeston, a Nottingham-based artist and technician. Ismail Cocken, who I mentioned, who's neighbourhoods producer at New Art Exchange, as well as an artist. Jenny Gladell, who's a freelance curator and art historian. Lucy Lacey, engagement and projects coordinator at Level Centre in Rowsley, Derbyshire. Lucy Lum, a visual arts development coordinator at the Hub in Sleaford. Mandeep Dardiala, who many of you have had the privilege of meeting this evening, who is a fine art printmaker exploring place, home and ecology. Neve Treacy, who's a coordinator of Format International Photography Festival in Derby. And Sazizo Piri, who's a curator, producer and writer with international experience. So we're going to focus a little bit now on our 2025-2026 highlights and learning. Looking first at paid opportunities and artist support. So bursaries. In 2024 to 2025, Cvan East Midlands launched a bursary pilot, which saw 7.5k awarded across 5 visual arts professionals based in each of the region's counties. Bursary recipients were offered free mentoring, and we received 95 applications across the 5 rounds. We had 1 round for each county in the region. We received the smallest number of applications from Northamptonshire, and we had the most for the round that focused on Nottinghamshire. We increased our bursaries from £1,500 per recipient to £2,500 in 2025-26, following feedback focused on the limitations of the original bursary size. We awarded 2 £2,500 bursaries this year to visual arts professionals living in Nottinghamshire and Leicestershire, selected from 44 applications following a single region-wide call for applications. Mentoring. So I provide 1 free hour of mentoring almost every week and concentrated in-person sessions dotted throughout the year. Free one-to-one mentoring sessions are for visual arts professionals, so that could be artists or arts workers, curators, producers, arts writers, etc., based in the East Midlands and working at any point in their career. They can focus on artist development opportunities, funding applications, open calls, commissions, proposals, networking, statement writing and portfolio advice. Following each one-to-one session, I share a feedback survey, and over 2 years that I've been doing the mentoring, and last reviewed in February, we'd received feedback from 43 mentees. So these slides show some of the data gathered and the responses that were shared by mentees. So this year I delivered 15 free in-person mentoring sessions at Level Centre, the Hub and Modern Painters New Decorators, so that's Derbyshire, Lincolnshire and Leicestershire. I delivered 53 free online mentoring sessions and delivered free university talks to students at University of Lincoln and DMU in Leicester. Mentoring feedback has included, the session was focused and professional, and I felt confident to ask questions without hesitation. Answers were informative, thoughtful, positive, encouraging and useful. They were just what I needed, and I'm still benefiting from them. Our conversation gave me the opportunity to think about the direction of my practice and how I can finance myself on a long-term basis without compromising my vision. I'm now in a position to move my practice forward and into a new area, and I found support from unlikely sources as a result of time spent during the mentoring session. Colette, it feels weird talking about myself in the third person, me. Colette was very supportive and knowledgeable. Her advice for me in relation to setting back into the area as an artist was pragmatic, new and relevant. And finally, the discussion with Colette really helped me improve my mindset, shift my focus towards reaching out to others to collaborate on projects. And the feedback's really important, not just to make me feel good about myself, even though that helps, but it's really important to know if and how it's working. So a lot of the questions also focus on what we need to change in terms of the mentoring sessions, and they have shifted quite a lot in terms of focus over the 2 years. And also, we operate on 35k a year. It's not a huge amount. So mentoring feels like something that we as Cvan East Midlands can provide as something that's relatively inexpensive. It's my time. It's not costing us anything, but it's a great way as well for me to learn about the artists and arts workers practicing in the region. Next, we're going to have a look at programming and critical dialogue. Annual forums. So Cvan East Midlands Annual Forum is a key event in the region's cultural calendar, bringing together artists, arts workers and organisations to explore current issues shaping contemporary visual arts. These events also provide an opportunity for networking and connection, and each year we work with a different regional partner to spotlight a different locality. Last year's annual forum and associated legacy events were attended by 79 people, and they all took place in person. And last year's core forum event took place at Northampton's soon to reopen NN Contemporary Art, now Arts Collective, and it focused on artist-led practice as public. This year's event has been generously supported by Leicester Print Workshop, and the public AGM format allows for a more transparent, accessible and collaborative platform for dialogue, with a specific focus on the shifting cultural landscape and Cvan East Midlands' role as a sector support organisation responding to these changes. Better Together. The Better Together programme brings together change makers from across the Midlands for bi-monthly online sessions that foster connection, support and shared learning. Aimed at, but not exclusive to, directors and programme leads, sessions provide a supportive space to discuss current challenges and explore collective approaches to sector development. Each 1 hour session focuses on an urgent or timely topic and prioritises open discussion, helping strengthen collaboration and resilience across the region's visual arts ecology. In 2025-26, we expanded the programme to cover the East and West Midlands, strengthening the platform as a place and space for regional and cross-regional connectivity, sharing and exchange. We had 272 attend Better Together sessions that took place in 2025-26, and topics which have been covered so far include access to work, secondary income for venues, public round working, the impact of AI, the importance of artist studios, and articulating value beyond metrics. Partners and consultation. As a small, non-venue based organisation operating across a large, complex and fabulous region, partnership working is essential and extremely important. We've been able to connect and work with more partners as our profile has been raised via recent programme and opportunity developments. And partnerships help us to expand our reach, visibility and relevance, as well as that as our partners, whilst also strengthening fundraising opportunities. In 2025-26, we begun to diversify and expand our outcome, increasing the range of services we can offer partners. This has included consultation work, primarily with Mansfield District Council, with a focus on Mansfield Museum's visual arts offer. Such partnerships also generate additional income, which can be reinvested back into supporting the region, primarily via our bursary scheme, meaning that this year we were able to award an additional bigger bursary. Now we're going to look at policy and advocacy. Conversations with Arts Council England. We've continued to strengthen our relationship with Arts Council England, particularly with our regional relationship managers. We meet quarterly to share opportunities and challenges currently impacting the region. These meetings help us to fulfil our advocacy role, and Arts Council England support our work and share updates and guidance. Steering group members contribute observations and experience, enabling a clearer, more detailed picture of the region to be shared, reflecting different perspectives and lived and professional experiences. In January, Arts Council England joined a quarterly steering group meeting to connect with members and strengthen relationships across the network. Representing the freelance and regional voice. Working with Cvan England, we ensure that the East Midlands is represented and platformed on a national stage and can more easily engage in activity and opportunities taking place beyond the region. We do this by providing East Midlands case studies to ground national advocacy, supporting consultation responses with local evidence, engaging local stakeholders to amplify national messages, contributing to national research, shaping Arts Council England and government cultural strategies, pushing national opportunities surveys and news regionally, responding to and publishing responses to critical policy change and sector reporting, and feeding regional data and examples into national policy reports, such as Framing the Future, recommendations for the DCMS spending review, which included a really important case study from Backlit in Nottingham, supporting the campaign to build creative infrastructure and create a £5 million grassroots visual arts fund. Governance and infrastructure, steering group development. This year we hosted our third annual steering group development day, which took place here in Leicester and was facilitated by Artreach. Cvan East Midlands supports and encourages our members to develop and directly inform strands of our strategic work and programming that best aligns with their experience and interests. I'm extremely fortunate to have the support of the Cvan East Midlands Steering Group and access to diverse skills and regional knowledge that members bring to the network and the work that we do. We're hosted by New Art Exchange, or NAE, in Nottingham. Our hosting relationship with NAE is vital. We've been hosted by the organisation since 2023, joining at the beginning of the current Arts Council England MPO funding round. NAE is a groundbreaking creative space in the heart of Hyson Green, Nottingham, and the UK's largest gallery dedicated to contemporary visual arts from the globe majority, dedicated to promoting excellence and cultural diversity through contemporary arts via exhibitions, events and engagement initiatives. The organisation also champions a citizen-led model to programming, commissioning and decision-making. Website and directory. Last year, we invested in our online infrastructure, and in December 2025, we relaunched our website following ongoing technical issues with our previous platform. With this investment, there's been a renewed interest from artists, arts workers, and organisations in the services that the website provides, including events, exhibitions, website listings, and pages which are populated by the users. So anyone is welcome to visit the Cvan East Midlands website, and you can submit your own content. So be that an exhibition, a performance, an opportunity, anything along those lines, you submit it, I review it, and it goes live on the website. And it's a brilliant resource for people to find out what's going on in the region. We worked with a Nottingham-based website designer called Matt Woodham to create a site that was more accessible, visual, and hopefully fun. We've increased the number of tags and search options across our listings pages to improve searchability and usability for visual arts professionals and audiences alike. We've also continued to platform, review and make changes to our expanding arts worker directory. So the directory exists as its own site, which is linked in with the Cvan East Midlands website. So you can find it in one of the top tags on the homepage, or you can also search for it directly. We have over 150 listings or profiles on the site, which acts as an ever-growing resource of independent freelancers and small businesses working within the arts across the East Midlands. The platform supports the visibility and diversity of the region's creative workforce, helping organisations and projects search, find and employ freelancers. Moving on to our 2026-27 priorities and developments. Priority number 1 is advocacy and influence, having a stronger positioning in Arts Council England and combined authority conversations, and a clearer, stronger regional voice. 2 is artist and arts worker investment, supporting, developing and delivering paid opportunities, and developing partnership working opportunities, including cross-regional opportunities and opportunities with further and higher education institutions, for example. Regional visibility, spotlighting East Midlands talent, including spotlighting that talent on national and international stages, and data and narrative storytelling, primarily through working with Cvan England. And our 4th point is inclusive infrastructure, so thinking about steering group renewal and development, and working with specialist advisory groups on projects as and where appropriate. advocacy and influence. In 2026-27, we will continue to have quarterly conversations with Arts Council with vital input coming from our steering group members. With support from Arts Council England, we've been added to a sector contact list with the East Midlands Combined Authority, EMCCA. What this means at this time, I don't really know, but being around the table is a first vital step. Artists and arts worker investment via partnership programming and investment. I've said investment a lot. Ode to the Midlands. So in late 2025, we were awarded just under 100k from Arts Council England to deliver Ode to the Midlands. Ode to the Midlands is an 18-month programme led by Cvan East Midlands and Cvan West Midlands to strengthen cultural life across the regions through equity, collaboration and digital innovation. In 2026-27, we'll work with partner organisations, The Hub, Film and Video Umbrella, NN Contemporary Arts, Hereford Museum and Art Gallery, Meadow Arts and British Ceramics Biennial to commission 6 mid-career artists from the Globe majority or disabled, deaf and neurodivergent artists to create digital works exploring the Midlands identity. Through cross-regional partnerships, mentoring, skill development and critical writing alongside public workshops with higher education institutions, the programme supports sustainable artist development whilst expanding access to inclusive digital arts across the East and West Midlands. Bursaries. So following a further round of feedback from Cvan East Midlands bursary recipients, we have developed our offer again for 2026-27 and are thrilled to be working with Quad in Derby to offer a Cvan East Midlands bigger bursary and development opportunity to East Midlands-based, lens-based visual artists. In partnership, as a separate bursary opportunity and working in partnership with No Jobs in the Arts, we're supporting their 2026-27 iteration of the Pilgrims Art Postcard Collection Bursary Scheme, a grassroots initiative designed to support low-income early career creatives to travel across the Midlands. Creatives receive funding to cover minor travel and subsistence expenses, making it easier to visit exhibitions, artworks and other inspiring arts events that might otherwise be out of reach. Regional visibility. International working. Cvan England has developed an international residency and exchange partnership with Cvan West Midlands and BBK Bayern in Germany. The Midlands was identified by international partners as a strategically aligned region, and throughout 2026-27, we'll be working with partners in the West Midlands to support 2 Midlands-based artists to engage in an international residency exchange supported by Arts Council England's international team. The importance of data. We are participating in a scoping phase with the Visual Arts Data Observatory with a PhD candidate called Chris Dawson, and the project will map existing data collected across the network and identify critical gaps to establish a more robust policy impacting evidence base for the contemporary visual arts sector. Inclusive investments. We will announce an open call for artists and arts workers to apply to join the Cvan East Midlands steering group in the next couple of weeks. We'll be saying goodbye to a number of current members who've completed a 4-year maximum term with us, and we're looking for a minimum of 2 sponsored steering group members, artists, and 1 to 2 arts workers supported by their employers to contribute to the steering group. There will be a handover meeting at the end of July, and new members will officially join the steering group in October. An opportunity overview. You'll be joining at a pivotal moment of programme development and regional positioning. There's professional development, peer learning and sector-wide networking opportunities. And there's an annual external facilitation to support group growth and effectiveness. What does the steering group do? So the steering group advises and supports the director to set and deliver strategic priorities. They advocate for Cvan East Midlands across the region and nationally, and members attend 4 meetings per year and contribute to various focus group conversations and an annual review. What are we looking for? We're looking for a commitment to Cvan East Midlands' aims, values and regional role, a passion for shaping and championing arts and culture, and strategic and/or creative thinking with active participation. That's the end. I got to the end quicker than I expected. Thank you. So this is going to be an opportunity to, we never turn the lights off anyway, an opportunity to put the lights back on and to hear from some of you in the audience, some of you participants. As I mentioned as well, we've also got a couple of plants in the room who are on the Cvan East Midlands steering group who can maybe enlighten you and share a little bit more around their role if that's of interest to you. But what we're going to do is we've got a roving microphone. So if you've got a thought, comment or question, please do wait for the microphone to come to you, because as mentioned, Robert's recording the session, the conversation today. So this ensures that we can capture all of the brilliant thoughts and questions that you're going to share. So Michelle's there with the mic. So if anyone has a question or thought, please pop your hand up, and Michelle will make her way over to you with the microphone. Yeah.
I'm a member of the workshop here. My name's Sarah. You mentioned I presume it's an acronym, GLOW.
Yeah. Global Majority.
Global Majority.
Yes.
Did you shorten that?
No, so Global Majority is another term that might be used to describe black or brown individuals of colour, working within the arts in this instance.
Okay, I shortened it. Between you and me, I shortened it to GLOW. Right, now I know. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't know what that meant.
No problem. There's a really good explanation of it on New Art Exchange's website, but different people use it differently, and it's not a preference for everyone. But Cvan East Midlands uses that term in line with how New Art Exchange uses that term.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and if you do want to say your name, anything about yourself when you have the mic, if you're an artist, arts worker, or where you might be based, please do, but if not, don't worry about it.
Hello, my name's Liz. I've come from Lincolnshire. I'm actually on the screen, look at that. It was just a couple of questions about the website, actually. One about the website. So the directory of artists, can anybody join that?
Yes, so the directory works very similarly to the website in that you can submit, if I go back to where is it on the slides? Have we gone too far?
Yeah. There, stop. Oh.
There we go. So here where it says join for free or updates, if you click join for free, you can create your own profile. And anytime anyone visits the site, it updates itself, so it's not alphabetical, it's randomised, which is quite nice. So you're not always employing like Adam Admonson. It's more generalised. So you can click here to join, you put your content on, and I approve it in the back of house. Or if you want to update it, it's a little bit clunky because we didn't have a lot of cash to do it. So you can't re-enter your profile. You have to click update, you email me, and I can make changes. But what you can do is you can add your name, the services you provide. So maybe you're a technician, a mentor, a producer. You can include the experience you've got. So if you are a technician, do you work typically with exhibitions, events, collections? And where are you based and where are you working? So for example, you might be based in Lincolnshire, but maybe you work across Lincolnshire and Nottinghamshire. So that's free for anyone to...
Right, thank you. And the other one was about... So it was secondary income.
Oh, yeah, Better Together.
Yeah, Better Together, that's it. Is there any chance of getting hold of any of the past ones? If you didn't get, do you record any of them?
We tend not to. We have recorded a couple. We do record them for access, so anyone who attends gets access to the recording after. But because we like for them to be quite conversational, open, and we don't want people to feel that they are being recorded, we don't typically record them. If you've got any specific questions about all of the information is still available on the site in terms of what sessions have taken place, and you can email me about maybe who led on it, or if there's any specific questions, please do. But we haven't got all the recordings.
Thank you, Colette.
Thank you, Liz.
So I'm just kind of hearing that like you do a lot of the job kind of thing, and I guess I was just trying to understand what other than the advisory board and the way that you sit in partnerships, what support you have to do your role, and also that I'm aware that you're presenting the AGM of a lot of work that you've been involved in, and also then how that sits in like the national framework of Cvan East Midlands, and then if you have like yeah, because I know you talked mainly about the East Midlands, because that's what we're here to do. But I'm just wondering about the broader structure and how it sits, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, great
sure.
question. So on the surface of it, it's very much myself as the sole staff member. So I'm employed by New Art Exchange. There's a version of me in each of the regions. And some of those individuals are freelance, some are PAYE. I'm supported primarily through the steering group. So like I say, we meet 4 times a year, in person, hybrid or online, and we also have a full day together for our development day. And they're also kind of on call via email, or if we're working on a set project that's specific to a particular interest. I worked a lot with Harry Freeston during our art technician training programme as a Nottingham-based technician. He was invaluable in developing that work. We're based with New Art Exchange, as I mentioned, so there's a financial support there and also just access to the office. So early today I was in NAE, so I can connect with any of the team members. I can use the printer, the laminator. I've got a lot of their pens and post-it notes here and the blue tack. NAE is a vital resource in terms of just your day-to-day support, conversations, and not being sat by myself at a desk in my house all the time, even though I do that sometimes. In terms of the West Midlands, like I say, it's a bit different because the other version of me in the West Midlands is also me. And the West Midlands had a gap of about 5 years where they didn't have any funding. They were hosted by a consortium of universities, primarily Birmingham City University. The funding came to an end, there was a gap, and then it was picked up by DASH, which is Disability Arts in Shropshire. So DASH is the NPO host, National Portfolio Organisation host for Cvan West Midlands, and likewise I have access to the DASH team. The DASH team is all home-based, nomadic. We meet up once a month. So even though I'm kind of operating a little bit on the fringes of the organisation, there is a lot of overlap, but my role isn't specifically working with solely disabled artists. I'm working with West Midlands artists. Sometimes they're disabled, sometimes they're not. There's a great overlap there. But I'm invited to all, team training and team meetings. So we have kind of points of connection, and I meet with Heather Peake, who's the artistic director, once a month for an online catch-up. And in terms of Cvan England and the kind of other regions, we all meet up once a month online to check in. What we tend to do is we'll have updates from Paula Orrell, who's the director of Cvan England, and then we take it in turns to share what we're doing in our region. So we can hear what's happening in the other regions and discuss which programs, opportunities, models are working and what might work in this region. We're kind of given the autonomy to do what is needed for our regions, which is nice, but we can discuss and share and learn from each other too. So that's kind of how the wider structure works. But it's a very confusing model. My parents don't really. When I say I work for 2 organisations, but kind of one, and sometimes I'm in Birmingham and sometimes I'm in Leicester. But it's great working across both. No? Well, what we'll do, if there aren't any further questions, is I can stick around for a little bit up here if anyone wants to ask me anything one-to-one. We've got the bits of paper still stuck on the walls, which are kind of asking you to think about what are the opportunities and challenges for the visual arts currently in the region. What are we thinking about in terms of future thinking, and what role should Cvan East Midlands play in that future? If the printing is it still set up, Mandeep? If you missed out on the opportunity to print earlier, check in with Mandeep and do yourself a little print. You can take one home with you and also share a print response to these questions. And we've also got Kelly at the back, our live illustrator. Kelly's with us from Chesterfield, and you can chat with her and she'll live illustrate some of your thoughts and feelings. Before we come to a close, I'll do thank yous again. Thank you all for your thoughts, questions and contributions, and thank you again Leicester Print Workshop for hosting us this evening. Please do grab food and drink. There's lots of biscuits and stuff still knocking around, and take a look at the exhibition if you haven't done so already. Thank you.